Hey y'all, welcome to my channel. I'm Linda, and today's video is going to be about how I found out I was pregnant. I was pregnant at 15 and had my son at 16. I'm doing this video for a lot of reasons, because I know there's a lot of females that are in my position, you know, being young and being pregnant and having a baby at a young age, and you know, give you advice on how I cope with things, how I deal with the stuff that I have to go through. But yeah, we're gonna get into the video. But anyways, I found out that I was pregnant probably at the end of 2017. End of 2017, in the beginning, somewhere around that time. I was not aware that I was pregnant for a long time. I was probably around my probably 6-7 months I was pregnant, and I didn't know. I didn't have any of them symptoms in the beginning. I wasn't vomiting. I didn't have any nausea. I didn't have anything. I just had a lot of back pain. So it was for a long time. I found that I was pregnant because I went to the doctor. I went to the doctor one day, and of course, you know, they have to do a urine sample, blah blah blah, whoop-de-doo. And they did a urine sample. And of course, they have to do a pregnancy test every time you take a urine sample on the females that are sexually active. So when that happened, my doctor came in and told me to step out, because I was actually with my dad, and she told me to step out with her, and she took me to another room, and she was like, I was like, what's wrong with me? He's like, well, to be honest with you, you're pregnant. I said, what? Huh? Who? It couldn't be. I'm like, it was so many emotions was going through my body. I was like, no, I'm not pregnant. This is impossible. You gotta run this text again. She's like, well, the only thing else, if you're not pregnant, then there's this thing called, it starts with a P. It's kind of medical. It's a medical term that I really don't know. But they took me the next day. I had to go to the hospital, and they did an ultrasound. And the lady was like, what you coming in for? I said, they think I'm pregnant. And I'm still in the state of shock. I'm like, nope, I'm not pregnant. And I'm lying to myself that I'm not pregnant. I'm like, the whole time I'm lying to myself saying I'm not pregnant. And because you're like, man, damn, I'm really going to waste my life doing this. But anyways, I was in the ultrasound. They laid me down, you know, they did the thing. And they were like, yep, there's a baby up in there. I said, huh. How do you even know? Like, it's not even big. I know it's not that big, because I know I haven't had any symptoms, so I know I'm not that far along. So at the point, I thought, okay, I'm probably what, month, 2 months, probably. He's like, no, you're 26 weeks. I'm like, I'm 26. Who? That's impossible. I'm not that far along. So at the time, my mom was sick with the flu. And I was taking care of her, and of course I caught the flu. At the time, I thought it was gonna be fine, because I wasn't pregnant to me at the time when I was taking care of my mom. So when I went, my mom and dad still has no idea what was going on. I just told my dad that I was constipated, that's it. They wanted to see if, you know, they have to clean my system or whatever. And I'm still like, oh my God. I come home and I call my aunt. I was like, okay, I need to call her, get some advice. Oh, before that, I was texting my sister on the way to the house, and I was like, they say I'm pregnant, and she's like, what the f? I'm like, yep. It's like, no, that's impossible. Like, yeah, they're all in shock, because of course I'm the goody two shoes supposedly, and I was not supposed to end up being pregnant. That was not the vision they had for me. But so I called my aunt, and I was like, okay, and of course I'm speaking in Spanish to my aunt, but I was like, okay, Tia, I'm pregnant. I don't know what to do. Like, they say I'm pregnant. Like, what am I supposed to do? And she's like, well, you should have came back with me to California. I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. Really? I'm not finna up and leave my whole life from Louisiana to go to California. I'm like, no. And so she was like, well, what you gonna do? I said, don't tell my mom or dad yet. Let me figure out a way, because my mom's sick. So, and that same day, I had to take my mom to the doctor in Clinton. And she made me drive, because she was really loopy off the medicine we gave her. And so I had to drive. And on the whole drive there, it was so hard not to just say it. And my legs were getting really numb. I don't know what was going on, but my legs were really getting numb, and they were hurting me. Like, I barely could even drive. And so Well, 2 days after the ultrasound passed, and I still haven't told him anything. Still not, could not. But my family still had an idea, because I was always skinny. I've always had a flat stomach, and I've always been, you know, really active, but I haven't been for a few months. But again, I was, you know, school was started, and I was kind of lazy, and I didn't want to do anything, and I wasn't really, I had a diet. I was on a diet before, and I kept on that diet, and I did it, but it was whatever. And that's when my mom was noticing, okay, something's wrong. So she was talking to my godmother saying I was pregnant, blah, blah, blah. But when I went to the doctor and I told her that the doctor told her I was constipated, she's like, okay, she's just constipated, she's not pregnant, I don't have to. I was in my room, and my dad's in the kitchen, and my aunt calls his phone. I had every piece of me died inside of me, because the only way my aunt told my parents, because my parents were together, she just shouted out, she's like, don't get mad, don't hurt Linda, but Linda's pregnant, she's due in March. I'm like, oh my god, like, what? Why would you even do that? And when they called my name, my dad looked at me and he looked straight to my stomach, and I'm like, oh my god, like, what just happened? And my mom started crying, and my dad went out the door, because my dad's like he gets angry really easily, and he just steps out and he doesn't bother with us. So he went outside and he came back inside. He's like, are you really pregnant? I was like, yeah. And I am crying. I'm crying so much. I didn't know what to do. I don't know what to do. He's like, yeah. He's like, no, you're going to women's. We need to figure this stuff out. I said, okay, we're going to women's. So they drove me all the way to women's, because they really think I wasn't pregnant. They thought it was a tumor. And they came up with so many things, but we went to women's. When we went to women's, they checked me in, and they said I had the flu. I caught the flu, whatever. And so it was bad for the baby, because the flu's very dangerous when you're pregnant, and so I caught the flu. But we went in, they put me in a room, and they was like, yep, you're actually 28 weeks. The lady, because in my town, the hospital doesn't have the really good technology, and that woman's is, so I was actually 28 weeks. So okay, I'm 28 weeks. I still wasn't relieved, but I'm like, okay, I'm 28 weeks. Like, what am I supposed to do? How many months is it? And so she was telling me all the information I was supposed to know, and we found out the gender, and the gender was a boy. I've always wanted a boy to be my first child, but not at 15. And it was a boy, and I was happy. At the moment, I was kind of upset with myself, but again, I had a human being growing inside of me, and I was so happy that I was going to be a mom, that I was having a baby boy, and all I could do was smile when she told me I was having a boy. My mom's over there crying. She's trying to, you know, it's not the baby's fault. He didn't ask to be here. It was just me and his father who were being stupid and having sex at a young age. And so after that, they left me in the room, and they checked my urine, and I was diagnosed with preeclampsia. I had a lot of high blood pressure. His heart rate wasn't the normal weight. His oxygen level was dropping. They thought I was gonna deliver right then and there, but I didn't. I didn't. So they was like, okay, we're gonna take you up to a room upstairs, because I was in the triage area, and so they moved me up to labor and delivery, because that I was gonna have the baby at the end of the day, because oxygen level was not it wasn't the way it's supposed to be. His heart rate was dropping. It was dropping up. It was dropping, and then we were going high, and so there was concern. My blood pressure was really high. It was up into 200s, and I had to calm down, because I was just really anxious about the fact that I was pregnant, and what would my mom and dad do when I get home. So they kept me over there for about 2 days, and they let me go. My mom and dad did not speak to me. My dad stopped speaking to me my whole pregnancy. The rest of my pregnancy, and I was like, oh my god. I didn't go to school for about 3 weeks, because we were trying to figure out the situation and stuff. They just, you know. And so finally, my dad spoke to me. The owner spoke. He only spoke to me. He's like, I'm really disappointed. I'm really upset with you. Why could you do this? I gave you so much trust and whatever. But it happened. It happened. You know, the only way not to have a baby is not having sex. That's the only thing. Because when you start having sex, there's a 50-50 chance you can have a baby. But it was whatever. So as the months went by, I started having doctor's appointments. I was up almost to the week's point where I was having it every week. But I went back to school and everybody actually really knew that I was pregnant. My stomach had been poking out, but I was the one who was being stupid and was like, no, I'm not pregnant, blah blah blah, what to do. And then finally I told my best friends I was pregnant. They were happy for me. They actually wanted me to have a daughter, but I didn't want to have a daughter. I wanted to have a boy. But they were really supportive. They always had my back. They, you know, it went really slow. But by the time I was probably 32 weeks, yeah, I started having more complications. My feet were getting really, really sore to the point I couldn't walk. But I had to push it through. But I had to push it through regardless. So I went to school. I kept going to school. My number one priority was to finish school to do it for my baby. So when I kept going, I kept going and I went through it. I think it was the last week of February where I started having really bad contractions. And I was actually at school when I started having contractions. I had this class called medical terminology, first responders. And she had like a hospital bed and I used to lay down and she let me lay down. And I woke up because I was having really bad pain in my lower back and it was just really just going to the front and it really hurted, but it was okay. And she's like, okay, they're coming back to back. Those contractions were about 2 minutes apart, less than 2 minutes apart. So, oh no, she ain't finna make it to the hospital. Because where I live and when the woman I was delivering at was about a 45 to hour drive. Even with traffic. It's at the end of the day when schools were letting out, work was letting out. So it was like, oh my God. So she drove, my mom picked me up. She drove me halfway to my house and my mom picked me up. We had got everything ready and my mom drove me to the hospital. First of all, my dad picked us up and he drove to the hospital and the whole time and I'm screaming because these contractions are really painful. We get to the hospital, they put me in the room. And they come in and they say, well, my mucus plug fell out. But I have not dilated any. I was having contractions. They were 2 minutes apart. But they only lasted 30 minutes. 30. Like the whole part. Like when we ended, when they were recording it, I was only having contractions back to back for 30 minutes. But it was long for that when I had to take the drive and then at school. But it stopped. So they didn't say it was in labor because I wasn't dilating any. You know, so but they watched me overnight. I actually stayed in the hospital for 3 days that night. 3 days that time, because I had to do a 24-hour urine sample because my preeclampsia. With the preeclampsia, it was really bad because you always had to watch your blood pressure. You had to, you had to watch a lot of things while I was having him, while I was with him, while he was inside of me. But then after that, I left home. I left the hospital and I went home. Come 34 weeks, I had to do it every weekly appointment, do ultrasound, and yeah. But it was okay. I liked it.